Breaking news, ex-Goldman Sachs executive says Bitcoin is ludicrously underpriced. Couldn't have said it better myself. LedgerX is the first to launch a physical Bitcoin futures in the United States. Can this institutional money increase the value of Bitcoin? The National Basketball Association, yes, the NBA, and CryptoKitties are teaming up to announce the launch of a digital platform for blockchain-based collectibles. Guys, did you know that just one Michael Jordan card sells for more than the price of Bitcoin? $28,000. Sony Subsidiary joins the $14.5 million funding round for a Bitcoin bank. Is Sony trying to get a piece of this pie? It's about time. It's about time. Sharp fall in German manufacturing is another sign of a global economic slowdown. Are we due for another recession? Well, keep watching, because in this video, you're gonna get the real deal. Holyfield, no spiel. Just keep watching the video. Just watch it. What's going on, everybody? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video, and today we're going to be talking about some really good news and some not so great news. But before we get started, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, my name is Alex. I do all types of cryptocurrency videos as well as internet entrepreneurship. So if you are trying to make some type of income on the internet or in life in general, because life is kind of integrated with the internet, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button as well as the push notification bell so you can get the videos first. Actually, I do all types of giveaways. Tomorrow, thanks guys for watching this video, so you guys know first, tomorrow I will be announcing a giveaway, so stay tuned for that. And if I ever had made you money in the past, or you get some type of value from this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps me with the YouTube search algorithm, okay? And guys, by the way, this video here is sponsored by All Natural Upgrades. All Natural Upgrades sells pure Himalayan shilajit. This is an all-natural resin coming from the Himalayan mountains, 16,000 feet above sea level, and it gives you 85 plus vitamins and minerals, okay? Remember guys, this is all natural, no laboratories involved. Go ahead and check that out. So let's jump right into it. Bitcoin is ludicrously underpriced. I like the way they use that word, you know, ex-Goldman Sachs executive. So the reason why I brought this up, yes, we have all types of predictions all the time. I can't really cover all the predictions, but the explanation that they give is pretty important. So I'm just gonna scroll to this part right here. I'm gonna read it to you guys. The main barrier for commentators today, he argued, was simply getting their heads around the kind of numbers involved in the future. If you try to get your head around the digitalization of everything, if you try to get your head around the alternative financial system, even if it has low probability, right? If you recreate a low probability of, let's say, the global money supply and global debt, it's something like, I don't know, call it $80 trillion or something, he said. So if it's worth $80 trillion, let's say you have a 10% probability, that's $8 trillion. If it's currently worth $200 billion. So the market cap's only $200 billion. So even if there's a 1% chance of working, what it's telling you is that Bitcoin is ludicrously underpriced if any of these probabilities play out. So what they mean about total market cap is if you go to coinmarketcap.com and you look at the basically right here, the market cap is only 200 billion. It's 275 billion, just recently jumped up a little bit. But that's what they mean. Guys, if you look at the macroeconomics of Bitcoin and you really do the math on how much monetary value there is out there, we are just starting. Yes, it's been 10 years, but if we ever see like a 10% of all monetary assets in Bitcoin, Bitcoin would be worth like 100 to 200 to $1 million. It will grow exponentially. I remember when I was first looking at this market cap, we celebrated when Bitcoin hit $1 billion. When Bitcoin was a $1 billion, or not Bitcoin, but the total market cap of all the cryptocurrency was worth $1 billion, we celebrated. Now it's $275 billion. That blows my mind. And the fact that it can be 1 trillion by next year or in a year from now, a year after that, is not unheard of. A lot of people are making that prediction, and that's why we see people saying, hey, Bitcoin's gonna 50x. It's gonna be worth $50,000 to $100,000. So keep that in mind. The big macroeconomics play a huge role, and I'm gonna talk more about that in the remainder of this video. So another very important article, in my opinion, is the fact that LedgerX is the first to launch a physical Bitcoin futures in the United States, okay? So LedgerX basically right now provides derivatives, Bitcoin derivatives, and they're launching futures contracts. So let's explain futures contracts if you guys don't understand. So to give you my simple explanation, I'll leave this website link in the description for you guys so you can really read into it. These institutions will offer you a contract because, you know, Bitcoin's really volatile, very emotionally taxing. People don't really want to deal with that. They kind of just want to say, hey, I think Bitcoins are going to go up and I'll put a $2,000 contract on that, and, you know, I can sell the contract. It's basically just a way to get it in past the regulation. So if America or any other country decides to ban Bitcoin, which we've seen in China and stuff like that, it's a traditional way of doing it. You're going to be good. You don't have to worry about any regulation. All you have to worry about is the price of Bitcoin either decreasing or increasing, right? So this basically gives like way to people that have been investing in traditional financial systems now, right? So there's a lot of people that use futures in other ways and they don't care about cryptocurrency because they've been, you know, kind of conditioned on the traditional financial market. Now they can get into Bitcoin, right? How do future contracts work? There are two positions you can take in a futures contract, long or short. If you take a long position, you agree to buy an asset in the future at a specific price when the contract expires. When you take a short position, you agree to sell an asset at a set price when the contract expires. So they're just basically saying, hey, I want to sell it at this price. When it expires, you get your money. It's as simple as that. It's basically overall, and you can look deeper into it, and I highly recommend you guys do, a way for, you know, traditional kind of investors to get into Bitcoin, okay? Now, what's really important is, what do Bitcoin futures mean for the Bitcoin price? So in short term, it pushes the price upward as overall interest in the cryptocurrency spikes. So it increases the demand for Bitcoin. When you see things like this, they're saying, oh, these big institutions are getting involved in Bitcoin. Maybe I should think about it. Maybe I should kind of lower skepticism a little bit and look into Bitcoin. And that's usually what happens. So as you can see here, the day after Bitcoin futures was launched in Chicago Board Options Exchange, CBOE, for the first time on a major regulated exchange, the price of Bitcoin jumped almost 10% to $16,936. Similarly, in the run-up to the launch of the Bitcoin futures world biggest exchange, CME, the Bitcoin price broke through the $20,000 barrier. So does this mean the price will most likely go up? Yes, in my opinion. What do they say here? As Bitcoin futures can be regulated on public exchanges, it gives people who were previously skeptical as a result of the lack of regulation the confidence to invest. Institutional investors are more likely to offer Bitcoin futures to their clients as a variable investment option. So you understand the overall gist. This is good for Bitcoin. It gets by the regulation, and it builds confidence in Bitcoin in general for people with a lot of money, right? Now let's move on to the next story. The NBA and CryptoKitties creator team are launching an in-game collectibles, you know, blockchain-based kind of like app. I don't know exactly what they're doing because they're still in the creation of it, but this just blows my mind because you guys know back in the day, everybody used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I have a whole baseball, basketball, football card collection, and people took it really serious. And one big guy that I know a lot of you know, Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, used to do this when he was younger, selling baseball cards, and the value of these cards are pretty ridiculous. Like I showed you in the intro of this video, there's some cards that can sell for upwards of $28,000. I've heard of cards selling for millions of dollars in the baseball realm. This is a lot of money. And the thing about these cards is that they depreciate in value due to like them just getting old. They're pieces of paper that get old, right? This can help like crazy, not only the blockchain, but for the NBA, right? Because, for example, like they're saying right here, fans can buy, sell, trade digitally collectible in-season moves like Kevin Durant's three-point shot, right? So they can take these screenshots and collect them and sell them the same way that cards and, you know, collectibles. That's the way you guys want to think about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general. That's the best way to look at it, right? This is a perfect use case because in general, when I'm investing, I'm not necessarily thinking about the price fluctuations. Think about when you're in Yu-Gi-Oh or, you know, and Pokemon. You weren't really thinking about the price of the card. What you were thinking about, oh, I got this really strong character that's going to do some damage and help increase the value of my overall gaming experience, right? So you can win more. This is the same thing with cryptocurrency, you should not be thinking about the monetary value, the USD value. I do not do my calculations in USD value. If I'm buying altcoins, I'm doing it in the value compared to Bitcoin. Okay, you should always be thinking in terms of Bitcoin in general if you're into cryptocurrencies. And I'm like, you know, these Pokemon guys, I'm trying to collect them all. That is the way you should be thinking and investing in cryptocurrency, collecting and holding for long periods of time till the value goes up. Just like with Jordans, just like with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And now they're saying NBA cards. If you guys don't know what crypto kitties are, these guys had the biggest, one of the first huge decentralized apps on the Ethereum blockchain. They increased the value of Ethereum exponentially. It was crazy. People were going, there was like crypto kitties selling for thousands of dollars. It was like the same thing. You create your little crypto kitty and then you can sell it on the market, and it blew the price up of Ethereum. So them two getting together blows my mind, and this is great news to look at, great news for Bitcoin. But let's move on to the next story. Sony Subsidiary joins $14.5 million funding round for Bitcoin Bank. So this is just a quick news. I'm not going to jump right into it, but as you can see, big money is technically getting into these markets. They understand the macroeconomics, which is going to lead me to the next part of this video, but they understand that the world's kind of going into this declining negative result. We're looking at recessions. Everybody's looking for defensive investing. They are not taking risk anymore. They're putting their money into assets that will not produce a huge return for them, but will most likely maintain or retain its value, right? So you see Sony is moving in on it. We've seen big plays like JP Morgan in the past. We've seen all these huge financial institutes, you know, Facebook, looking at cryptocurrency now. Everyone's looking at cryptocurrency. You don't want to get in when they're already in. You want to get in when they're kind of like, okay, you want to be the first mover, right? So just understand that this is a lot bigger than what sometimes people make it seem like. Oh, we might see a bear market. Bitcoin might go to $5,000. Okay, if Bitcoin goes to $5,000, I'll have a field day. I will be the happiest person alive. The reason why I'm buying Bitcoin now around these ranges, you know, 9,500 to 10,500, is because I am honestly scared that we will never be able to see these prices ever again. Now let's on to the next chart. So sharp fall in German manufacturing is another sign of global economic slowdown. I don't know if you guys seen my other videos, but this is just more evidence that things are happening, right? All across the world. New York Federal Reserve model indicating recession next year. Record amount of negative yielding debt signaling expansion of global economic shutdown. German manufacturing output in July was the worst in 7 years, as measured by the German Purchasing Manager Index, a survey of prevailing economic marketing trends that is a major planning tool for corporate decision makers. It fell to 43.1. The sharp drop in Germany, the biggest manufacturer in Europe, it's another sign that the global economy is headed for a recession as the economies around the world report similar slowdowns. In fact, the IMF says that some 70% of the global economy, as measured by GDP, will experience a slowdown this year. That would make the biggest slowdown since 2011. Now, what does this mean for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Macroeconomics, right? This is a whole nother field of study, but why do I look at it? The reason being is, like I've said in previous videos, one of the most fundamental use cases of Bitcoin is if people lose trust in the government. Yes, all this smart money is going into defensive investing. But what about the people that don't watch these videos? What about the people that have no idea what they're doing with their money, and they're over there saving all their family's money in a bank account, and they don't know what's going on, right? And something like a recession happens, and they can't go use their money. They can't go withdraw it. What about them? They will lose distrust in traditional monetary systems. And like we've seen in other countries around the world, Bitcoin's value will increase. That is fundamental. That is Bitcoin 101. And as we see all of this, it's basically a domino, right? All over the world. It blows my mind, guys. It really blows my mind. And I want you to understand that I'm not telling you to go all in on anything. I'm telling you guys to do your research and really understand the big picture and make simple moves like putting $100 of your paycheck into Bitcoin a month, so at least you're prepared, okay? I work a little bit different. My life is cryptocurrency, so I'm willing to take bigger risks because I understand it. The way I look at it is as your intelligence and your understanding of cryptocurrency increases, then you can start putting some more money. Please do not take my advice too seriously. It's not really advice. I'm just giving you guys the news and the basic plans in which I'm doing. So understand that, do your own due diligence, and this is not financial advice, okay? Now, next story. So the feds are about to be on TV, okay? So they basically are going to have this talk, and the Federal Reserve is almost certainly going to lower interest rates on Wednesday. It's a high stakes game with a wide range of options. So basically, to stimulate the economy, Trump has basically been calling for, please lower the interest rates so that people can get better deals and stimulate the economy. But we all know, and if you've seen it in previous videos, that this is like a Ponzi scheme. It does nothing. They're creating value out of thin air, basically printing money and lowering interest rates for short-term growth and, you know, sacrifice of long-term recessions, right? It's going to happen. This article right here explains it, right? So the Federal Reserve is having its first rate cut since the crisis. Right here, these little gray spots, those are the recessions, right? So right here, we cut rates, recession. Right here, we cut rates, recession immediately after. Right here, we cut rates, recession. We haven't cut rates in a long time. We are expected to cut rates at this meeting. Now, they haven't had the meeting yet, and I don't know if that's 100% fact, but everybody has basically been talking about them cutting rates and potentially this domino to fall over. But that's why you've seen the price of gold increase. That's why you've seen the price of Bitcoin increase. And you guys know what I do. I invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So if you like the quality of this content, please do me a favor, hit like. If you don't, leave some constructive criticism. Subscribe for more video updates. Guys, tomorrow I will be announcing a Bitcoin, and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I'm doing a big giveaway. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. And like I always say, if you don't get with this, you will get left behind, and it might be sooner than you think. Thanks for watching.